Hello everyone, in this video I am going to tell you about the differences between crystalline and amorphous materials as well as the few basic terms which are required to understand the crystallography. First of all, we will see what are the different states of matter. Okay, so those are different states of matter named as solids, liquids and gases. Solids have two states, amorphous and crystalline form. So they are defined based on their geometry. Okay, so with a few exceptions, the particles that compose a solid material, whether ionic, molecular, covalent or metallic, so they are held in a place by strong attractive forces between them. When we discuss particularly about these solids, we have to consider the position of the atoms, molecules or ions, which are essentially fixed in given space rather than their motions, because this motion of atoms is important only in case of liquids and gases. For example, you just think of a diamond and some cotton candy. Do you think these substances are alike? They are different in every aspect and yet they are both solids. So what differentiate these in the structure and arrangement of their particles? Okay, so we know as I told you already, solids have two states, amorphous and crystalline form. Okay, so the particles are arranged with a definite or indefinite geometry. So now let us see what are the differences between them, how to differentiate them. So in this slide you can see here crystalline and amorphous materials, and amorphous materials also called as non-crystalline solids. So let us see one by one crystalline materials first. So the crystalline materials are characterized by their regular and periodic arrangement of atoms or molecules. If the arrangement of atoms is regular, okay, throughout the crystal, then they are called crystalline solids. Okay, if it is not regular, they are called amorphous materials. You can see in the images also in the slide. So particles which are arranged in regular manner with the blue balls. Okay, so they are all regular in the arrangement, and you can see table salt. Table salt is also examples for one crystalline material. Now you can see these are again crystalline classified into two types, single crystalline and polycrystalline materials. In single crystalline, the periodicity means the arrangement of atoms. Okay, so the spreading of atoms, it extends throughout the crystal. Okay, so there will not be any defects. This is the beauty of the single crystal. If you see a few examples for this, diamond and quartz crystals, those are the examples for single crystalline materials. Okay, so another category in crystalline materials is polycrystalline. So a polycrystalline material is an arrangement of number of small crystallites with random orientations separated by well defined boundaries. So simply I can say they will have grains with clear grain boundaries. Okay, so these are called polycrystalline materials. You can see in the diagram, in the polycrystalline materials there are different grains when compared to the single crystalline. Okay, now let us talk about amorphous materials. So these amorphous solids are characterized by their complete random arrangement of atoms or molecules. You can see in the diagram, in the last diagram, so that is the amorphous material in which the atoms are arranged in irregular fashion throughout the crystal. Okay, so these are the few important points about crystalline, and further classification single crystalline, polycrystalline in that, and next one is amorphous materials. Okay, now we will see what are the differences between these amorphous materials and crystalline materials. Okay, so let us start with crystalline materials. So the crystalline materials will have regular arrangement of atoms. Okay, so we have seen these points in the previous slide also in the form of images, whereas in amorphous the arrangement of atoms is not regular manner. Okay, and crystalline materials will have one repeating unit. Okay, that repeating unit is called unit cell, so that we will discuss further in the next videos. And this kind of repeating units are not exist in amorphous materials. And there is a long range ordering of atoms in crystalline materials, and this kind of long range ordering is not possible in case of amorphous materials. And crystalline materials are anisotropic materials. Okay, so anisotropic material means the properties of the materials are different in different directions. Okay, whereas in amorphous materials they exhibit isotropic property. Isotropic means in all the directions the property remains same. Okay, and next one, in case of crystalline materials will show elastic behavior, and amorphous materials will not show this kind of elastic behavior. And crystalline materials are ductile in nature, whereas amorphous are very brittle in nature. Okay, so crystalline materials have sharp melting points. You know what is a sharp melting point? It means so all the bonds are broken at particular temperatures as they are of equal strength. But whereas in amorphous materials, they melt over a range of temperature as all bonds are of not equal strength. Okay, so these amorphous metals, the bonds are having not equal strength. So that is the reason they will take different temperatures. So it will take a range of temperature to get melted. Okay, so these are the main differences between crystalline and amorphous materials. So if you see few examples for amorphous, glass, plastic are the examples for these materials. Now let us see a few important basic definitions which are required to understand the crystallography of the materials. So in this first one is lattice. So lattice is nothing but an infinite number of atoms or array of atoms, okay, so which are arranged in a regular manner is called lattice. You can see in this slide linear lattice. So linear lattice is if the atoms are arranged along a particular axis, okay, so then it is called a linear lattice. And let us assume the distance between 2 points, okay, 2 lattice points is a. And plane lattice, if the atoms are arranged in a plane, okay, let us say xy plane, then it is called a plane lattice. In the similar way, if the atoms are arranged in 3 dimensions in regular manner as shown in the figure, then it is called a space lattice. Okay, so the atomic arrangement in a crystal is together called as crystal structure. So it is very convenient to imagine periodic arrangement of points in space about which these atoms are located. Okay, so this leads to the concept called space lattice. Okay, space lattice. So let me tell you how to define this space lattice. A space lattice is defined as an infinite array of points in 3 dimensions, as you have as you are seeing here in the slide. Okay, so in which every point has surroundings identical to that of every other point in the array. Okay, so if you take any one atom from the center, so it will show similar surroundings around it. Okay, so this kind of arrangement is called space lattice. Now the second parameter is translation vector. Okay, so in the second image you can see. Now let us consider the case of a 2-dimensional square array of points as shown here. By repeated translation of the two vectors a and b on the plane of the paper, we can generate the square array. Okay, so the magnitudes of a and b are equal and can be taken to be unity, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. Here a and b are called as fundamental translation vectors, so that generate the square array. Let us choose any arbitrary point O as origin. Okay, as I have shown you in the diagram. So if we choose a point, okay, so at B, then how to write a translation vector for that? So OB can be written as, along x-axis if you see the distance, it is having a plus a, that is called 2a along x-axis, and along y-axis the distance is b. Okay, so altogether the translation vector to reach point B can be written as OB is equal to a plus b. So this is called translation vector. The next important definition is basis. Okay, so basis is nothing but a group of atoms or ions which when attached to each and every lattice point that produces a crystal structure. Okay, so this is called basis. For example, if you associate with each lattice point the basis, the total crystal structure can be generated. So the basis provides the number of atoms per lattice point, their types and mutual orientations along with their distances of separation. Okay, so this lattice plus basis together will give us the crystal structure. We can see the same thing here. Okay, so lattice points denote the position of the atoms or molecules in the crystal. So if we combine this space lattice along with the basis, we can generate the total crystal structure. Now the most important parameter, unit cell and lattice parameters, we are going to discuss now. So how do you define a unit cell? Unit means, you know, one, right? So one cell or first cell I can say. Okay, so unit cell is a fundamental cell or it is the smallest cell. Okay, the basic definition is unit cell is the smallest cell. Okay, so which when repeated in space, so it will generate the total crystal structure. Okay, So this is called unit cell, and the parameters which are required to describe the unit cell are called unit cell parameters. For example, the lengths of the edges of unit cell and the angles between them are called as lattice parameters. And this unit cell can be of any shape. For example, you can see in the diagram. So since each lattice point is common to 4 unit cells meeting at their corners, the effective number of lattice points in the unit cell one only. So instead, the unit cell can be visualized by taking one lattice point at the center of the square. So, and there are other possible ways also there, like a rectangular and a centered rectangular unit cell, hexagonal unit cell. There are many number of possibilities to design or to get a unit cell in 2 dimensions. And here the main lattice parameters are, as I said, ABC means the lengths along x, y and z axis, and also alpha, beta, gamma. Okay, so which will give you the angles between the axes. The more details about these lattice parameters will be discussed in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, please mail me.